Deonte Banks, cornerback, Maryland, another Big Ten guy, 6'0", 197, 31.4 inch arms, 4.35. All these guys are like athletic as hell, right? Like 4.35 40, 42 broad jump, 42 vertical jump, 11.4 broad jump. He played about 1,500 snaps, missed much of 2021. That's why it's a little bit lower than the other two guys. He missed under 3% of his tackle opportunities this year, which is really pretty impressive. Only 2 career interceptions, but teams throwing in his direction completed just 43% of passes this past year. What do you think about Deonte Banks, Thomas?
Again, another very good athlete, and again in our scale, he's a 7. So 7 being very good, 8 being excellent. He's just shy of the excellent in my. He probably could be excellent. Just like I think quite honestly, all 3 of these could be. It's me being a little bit particular about it. I mean, long. I mean, the ability to jump, explosiveness, right? With a 42.5 or 42 vert, 11.4 BJ, a broad jump. Maybe let me rephrase that. Broad jump is very important. And this guy has an ability and an awareness to him. I love the way he plays as well. He's just one of those guys that makes plays. He's consistent with what he does. And I think he's going to be a really nice selection. I mean, as potentially the third corner that's coming off, where does he land? All of a sudden these 2 cats go, Spoon and Gonzalez go in the top, by 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Before you know it, Banks is sitting there in the middle of the round, 15, 16, 17. And people are like, my God, this is a great opportunity to get a really good corner who could contribute out the gate. So I like him. I'm excited about where he'll be. Now, remember back to 3 corners. Sometimes when you're, again, the 2 guys go and then there's another guy that's kind of there in that 15-ish range. Before you know it, you have people that are in the 20s and they're thinking, okay, maybe mid-20s and they need a corner badly. We moved up to get Trufant, right, back in the day. Mm-hmm. You probably can pull that up while I'm rambling a little bit to see exactly what that was. But, I mean, this is one of those situations where all of a sudden people get wide-eyed and they're like, wow, 2 corners are gone. Not really that bullish on Brian Branch, even though I like him, and Joey Porter, like him, but he's more outside. Let me get up and get Banks. Let me move up 4, 5, or 6 spots. That's a position that I'm a move up guy on. And, some people might fight it. I get it. But if you're looking at a guy you think can be a difference maker for you as your deuce coming out this year and maybe be an eventual 1, this is the kind of guy I think you'd consider if you were in those 20s.
Yeah. So you were 30th because you guys lost the NFC Championship game in 12. So you picked around 30th in 2013. You moved up to 22 to get Trufant. Interestingly, look, the pick before Trufant was Tyler Eifert, about half as valuable during his career. The other one, Sharif Floyd, right after, was about a third as valuable. Now, Floyd had a lot of injuries, but obviously you have to know that going. You have to at least bake that in. You had Warner of Indianapolis, about a third as valuable too. So in that quartet of picks around Trufant, you did really well. 14 career interceptions, 6 career sacks out of Washington. He did go a little bit before Xavier Rhodes. I think Xavier Rhodes and him had very similar careers, 13 interceptions versus 14. So I thought you did fairly well there. The team that took, I can't remember if you were 29 or 30, but Cordell Patterson went 29 and 30 was Alec Ogletree, 2 guys who I think were not as good of players as Trufant, all told.
Can I do it if I can very quickly, because I don't want to lose this point. Yeah, we moved up. He was one of the best workouts we had, pure workouts. He was really explosive. Everything that I love seeing in a corner, the ability to flip it easily, the ability to turn, whip his head around, worked hard, really aggressive. We call these kind of guys urgent athletes. Mm-hmm. And I love that phrase because, you can look all the way back. Phrase, and I was talking to Sean Clement the other day, working on our Sumer Scout product, and Sean, as you obviously know very well, and those out there, he's got a really good eye as we're talking about talent, and as a data scientist. Anyway, we were talking about urgent athleticism, thinking about, when you think about an urgent athlete, you think about Troy Polamalu, right? Mm-hmm. I know that's digging us back away, but He's
Bob
always
Sanders.
flying around. Everything about him, and that's what I felt like Trufant was. Trufant, I wish there were times that he made more plays on the ball. In the end, where we short-sighted on Trufant, as good as I thought he was and as much as I liked him, he did not make the plays on the ball as much as we wanted him to. And I love him. If you're out there listening, I'm sorry. The reality is we didn't, that was probably what the shortcoming was, right? Have to remember, when you're judging ball skills on these corners, it's not just about knocking the ball down. If you can't come down with the ball and your hands are suspect, that will grade you down as a ball skill guy. You can still make plays on balls, but there's a difference in making a play on the ball and knocking the ball to the ground than there is turning it over. We all know that. So I think it's really important that you do your due diligence when you're looking at these corners and make sure they truly can catch.
Yeah, and he only had 2 career interceptions, 11 pass breakups. That might separate him. We do have a LinkedIn user here that says, is Banks a better prospect than Joey Porter Jr.? If both are available, the market's like Joey Porter Jr. a little bit more. I just kind of ordered them how I saw them on one big board. We are going to talk about Porter in a second.